Hey guys, I'm Ash from Training and Inspection Services, and we provide self-paced e-learning courses on 9 fields for API Individual Certification Program. These are preparatory course and 510 Pressure Vessel Inspector, 570, 571, 577 Welding Inspection and Metallurgy, Risk-Based Inspection, 653 Tank Inspector, Pipeline Inspector, 1169, Source Inspector, Fixed and Rotating Equipment. As you can see, we have two options for you for each of these exams, the full course and the mock exams. Today we are going to talk about API 577 Welding Inspection and Metallurgy exam. So let's go to the full course and see what it involves. You can see our overview of the course. There's 4 hours of video, 12 sets of flashcards and PowerPoint presentation, 21 lessons, 600 questions. So far we didn't have any candidates who failed and returned back to us, but if you fail, we give you two options. Either you can ask us for a free 4 months access, or you can ask for full refund. This is a 120 days 24/7 course access and online support. And if you go and look at our curriculum, it includes basic facts, so the A to Z of registration, exam tips, time management, and a benchmark quiz that we are going to solve today. This is free for all, so please visit our website and try our first module for free. And on module 2 we describe body of knowledge and exam tips, which includes API 577, ASME section 5 and ASME section 9, terms and definitions, inspection before, during and after welding, 8 popular welding processes, welding procedure and qualification, welding consumables, welder qualification, an extensive description of ASME, an extensive description of ASME section 5, non-destructive examination, complete with flashcards and practice questions, metallurgy, welding issues in petrochemical plants and refinery. And we have 6 sets of PowerPoint presentation on pipe and plate inspection, visual inspection, defects and repairs, consumable, WPS and WPQ, and then 6 sets of flashcards. And finally we have 4 sets of mock exam questions. Okay, let's go and solve some quizzes. In our mock exam package we have 600 questions, 12 sets of flashcards and PowerPoint presentation, and 1 hour of video clips. And you can try our sample question here. So we have simulated our mock exam question. Here you see percentage, but all our mock exam are timed according to API. You see here the next button, and you can see the answer immediately, and you can flag it off and return back to this again. Question 1. Welding inspection is a critical part of an overall weld quality assurance program. Welding inspection includes much more than non-destructive examination of the completed weld. Many other important issues are important, and they include all of the following except review of material verification program. So this is not a duty of welding inspection. So you review spec, welding procedure, you review joint design, you review cleaning procedure, but not the material verification program unless specifically asked for. Welding inspection activities can be separated into 3 stages: prior to welding, during welding, and after completion of welding. So there is no audits. This is a quality assurance issue. What is the most important stage of welding to assure that the welding problems are avoided and changes and corrections necessary are made? So obviously it is in the planning and preparation stage before any welding of the job begins, because you want to make sure that everything is in order. Prior to welding, a review of drawing, standards, codes, and specification is done. 2. Understand the requirements for welding and identify any inconsistencies. All of the following are quality control items to assess prior to welding, except perform visual welding. Remember, here is asking prior to welding, and one of the answers is perform visual welding. So we haven't started the welding, so that's not relevant. Inspectors shall review welding procedures and qualification records prior to work to ensure that all procedure and qualifications are completed and acceptable for work. All below statements are correct except welder performance does not support PQR. Remember, WPQ, welder performance qualification, is to demonstrate that the welder can deposit sound weld, whereas WPS, welding procedure specification, is to demonstrate that the weld has the required strength as designed, and the PQR qualifies the WPS, not the WPQ. Inspectors reviewing welding procedure and qualification records prior to work should address all of the following actions except so okay, you get the acceptable WPS, qualify WPS where required and witness qualification effort, qualify or requalify welders as required and witness percentage of welder qualification as a welding inspector, qualify WPQs where required and any PQRs needed. You don't do any PQRs needed. PQR is not your responsibility as a welding inspector. Inspectors shall review NDE information prior to inspection. This is about NDE examiners. So NDE examiner, they are certified according to the project spec to 3 international standards. It's either ISO 9712, ASNT CP 189, or SNTCC 18. So you want to make sure they are qualified according to one of them as required. Inspectors reviewing NDE information prior to work should assess all of the following quality controls items except so you check that NDE examiner are properly certified, the procedures are current and accurate, and the calibration of the equipment is current and up to date. But condition of equipment is not your job to check. Inspectors shall check welding equipment and instruments prior to work to confirm welding equipment and instruments are properly operated and are calibrated. So both of them. Inspectors checking welding equipment and instruments prior to work should assess all of the following quality control items except, so you check that welding machine calibration is current, yes. Instruments have current calibration, yes. Welding consumable storage ovens operate, yes. But this is an irrelevant answer, really. Inspectors shall check heat treatment and pressure testing procedure associated with equipment prior to work in order to confirm heat treatment and pressure testing procedure are acceptable. The equipment is acceptable, the procedure is acceptable, but confirm heating is adequate after welding, so this is irrelevant. Inspector checking heat treatment pressure testing procedure prior to work should assess all of the following. So you make sure that for heat treatment the procedure is available, appropriate, and equipment calibration is current. Pressure testing gauge calibrated, meet appropriate test requirements. Pressure testing procedure available and detailed testing requirements. but you don't check trained personnel to perform activities have been approved for work. That's not your job to check the qualification of the personnel performing heat treatment or pressure testing. Inspectors shall check all materials for welding prior to work in order to ensure all of the following except so you check that the filler metals properly identified, they are properly marked, and if PMI should be performed and it's mandatory, then you verify that it's done for material composition. But remember here API 578 is not mandatory, so this is the wrong statement, so you click this. Inspectors checking material prior to work should assess all of the following quality controls except so material test certification available, yes. Electrode marking as specified. Filler metal marking of visible and known to welding organization. This may or may not be visible because it may be on the filler metal packages marking. So that's not very obviously always true. And base metal marking traceable to material certification, that's the important part of welding inspection. Inspector checking materials prior to work should assess all of the following quality control items except. So recording of filler metal traceability, base metal stamping, PMI if it is a requirement as of, for traceability, but paint stripping, color code, that's not always true. Final task upon completion of weldment and work should include those that assure final weld quality before placing the welding in service, and they could include all of the following except document audit, make sure that the dossier is complete. NDE review, yes, you check the reports. Any non-conformity and defects, yes, you check it, but the appearance is finished, is cosmetic, and it's not a cause for rejection of the weld. And finally, if defects or non-conformances to a specification are found by the inspector, this should be handled when and in what manner. So the false statement, you have to look for false statement. It says take action anytime during the welding inspection. Take action on the issue after the welding inspection by report issuance. This is wrong because you have to stop the work and ensure that the correction is made and then proceed further, and then bring it to the attention of people who are responsible and then proceed further before proceeding further. So resolve the issue, immediately stop the job. So you can see the answer for each question, or you can see the whole result. Now because I flagged the question, I ask you whether you want to go back to flagged off question or you want to see the result, which I say okay, and it will show you the whole result. So I did 19 points out of 20, and let's see what did I do wrong. So as you can see, this is the question I answered, and it's ticked green, and if you go down we find it. Question 14, so this was the wrong answer that I made, and we also put the reference here. So actually the correct answer was confirm heat and treatment and pressure testing procedure are acceptable. So this is the wrong answer, confirm that heating. You can check our first quiz yourself, try it, and also read our first module for free. And please visit our website inspectortraining.com. Thank you.